great and a distinct honor to be in this part of the world. I got to sit backstage and watch Governor Scott. And, I miss Bobby, but those are two of the most dynamic, powerful competitors in the country. I'm proud to have them not only as my friends and colleagues and people who philosophically are on the same page, if you will, of our playbook, but also because they're competitors. They understand the concept of competition as well as any governors in this country. They're individuals who, when I get up in the morning, they make me nervous. Along with Susana Martinez over in New Mexico, Mary Fallon up in Oklahoma, Scott Walker up in West Tennessee. See, they're working every day to make their states be more competitive. Because as we sit here and we think about how does America become more prosperous, all roads lead back to the states. All roads lead back to the states. Let me tell you, we've certainly been demonstrating that in my home state of Texas. We've been focusing in our efforts now for over a decade. I tell my friends on the left, I said, if you want to see how to do it and how to do it right, look to Texas. And I tell them, I said, listen, that's not bragging. Because if you can do it, it's not bragging, right? And I challenge others. Matter of fact, I just left from St. Louis, Missouri, and flew directly here. I've been up talking to the people of Missouri about their business climate. I've been sharing with them a vision of a place that has low taxes and a regulatory climate that is fair and predictable, a legal system that doesn't allow for oversuing, accountable public schools so that you know that you can find the skilled workforce that you're looking for. And if that fits your image of where your company could best flourish, then move on down to Texas.
A lot of people are doing that.
And I hope I did it in a very civil and a very appropriate and congenial way. But the fact is that the governor of Missouri had vetoed a tax cut. And the people of Missouri and the legislature is contemplating overriding that veto.
Yeah.
Not a better example of what we should be doing in this country than having that discussion openly, thoughtfully, about which of these policies truly do serve the people of our states better. Is it high taxation and onerous regulation? Is it a legal system that allows for oversuing it? Is it public schools that don't produce a skilled workforce? I suggest no. And there are places that are examples of how it's working right. I look at Louisiana. I look at Florida. I look and see what these states that operate under what I refer to as red state policies and the product. But I look further and I look and see how their people are living. The places where there is hope for their families. Hope that they'll have a better future than what the previous generation had. And in my home state, there are families there who maybe a half a decade ago had a minimum wage job at best if they had a job. And because of the economy and what has happened in the state of Texas over the last decade, they're having an incredible opportunity. They're owning their home. They're making over $100,000 a year driving a truck in the Eagle Ford formation because of what that oil and gas industry's done. It's happening in the state of Texas because we understand that if you will free people from overtaxation and overregulation and over litigation, and you make sure that those public schools are accountable so that that skilled workforce will be available, that the people will prosper. You see, that's the future of America. Yes. All roads lead back to the state. understood that Washington was supposed to do a few things, do those few things very well. Things like have a cogent foreign policy, defend our borders, have tax policy in our country that basically gave incentives for money made offshore to come back into the United States and create jobs and wealth.
They force companies over.
And then let the states decide how best to deal with all of this plethora of other issues, like health care. You think about, I'll be real honest with you, I don't think the American people particularly want to look to Washington, D.C. to solve the problems of the day. Washington, D.C. is creating the problems of the day. We're already seeing, you think about, we are 50 different laboratories of innovation, or we should be, Catherine. I mean, when you think about these 50 different states, we should be competing against each other. The idea that a governor would say, I'm offended that you would come into my state and try to talk my businesses to come back to your state.